All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that shapes our world in ways you might not even realize. We're talking about herd mentality. You know, it's that unseen pull that can sweep us into everything from stock market craziness to viral internet trends and even huge political shifts. So what is it really? Why are we all so wired to follow the crowd? And maybe most importantly, can we ever learn to truly think for ourselves? Let's get into it. Really think about it for a second. Have you ever bought something just because everyone else was? Or maybe you've been in a group and found yourself nodding along with an opinion you weren't totally sold on? Yeah, that feeling, that subtle, almost magnetic pressure to just go with the flow, that is exactly what we are exploring today. It's something we've all felt.
Okay, so let's put an official name on it. It's called herd mentality. And at its core, it's pretty simple. It's when we conform to what the majority of people are thinking or doing. But, and this is the really critical part, it often comes at the expense of our own judgment. So this isn't just about trying to fit in. It's a seriously powerful psychological force that has some pretty massive consequences. To really get our heads around this, we need to see where this unseen pull actually shows up in the real world. And believe me, once you start looking for it, you'll see it absolutely everywhere. Let's start with the world of finance. It's a classic example. A few people start buying a hot new stock. Then others see it. They get that fear of missing out, and they jump in too. Pretty soon you've got a full-on frenzy that pushes prices way, way beyond what they're actually worth. We saw this with the dot-com bubble, and we saw it again with the housing crisis in 2008. The herd charges in, and when it finally stampedes out, it can bring entire markets crashing down. And the stakes get even higher when we talk about politics. That same exact pull can lead people to latch onto popular ideas without really digging into them. Historically, you can see how this has sometimes fueled extremist movements. It's easy for an individual to get swept up in the group's momentum, driven by that powerful need to belong, or just the fear of being the one who disagrees. Oh, and come on, who could forget this one? During the pandemic, right, the sight of a few empty shelves was all it took to trigger this massive wave of panic buying. We all saw people hoarding toilet paper, hand sanitizer, not because there was a real underlying shortage, but because everyone else was doing it. Fear is incredibly contagious, and in a crisis, the herd's reaction can literally create the very problem it's trying to solve. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the matter. It's this fundamental conflict between the group and the individual. In a way, herd mentality asks us to make a bargain. Give up a little piece of your own judgment, and in return, you get the safety and comfort of the crowd. So this brings up the big question. Why? Why do we do this? If it can lead to all these bad decisions, why is that pull so incredibly strong? Well, the answer isn't a flaw. It's deep in our psychology. It turns out there are some pretty powerful, hardwired reasons. First off, we're social animals. We instinctively look to others for clues on how to behave. Our brains also love a good shortcut. It's just easier to copy others than to do a full critical analysis from square one. Then you've got that deep, primordial longing to belong. For our ancestors, getting kicked out of the tribe was basically a death sentence. And layered on top of all that is this quiet assumption that, hey, if everyone is doing it, they must know something I don't. It's a really potent mix of psychological drivers. So what are the red flags we can look for? First, you've got basic conformity, where you see people start to shift their own beliefs to match the group's. Then there's that feeling we all know, FOMO, the fear of missing out, that anxiety that pushes you to join a trend. It gets a little more intense with group polarization. This is when a group's opinions actually become more extreme over time as everyone reinforces each other. And maybe the biggest warning sign is the suppression of dissent. That's when it suddenly feels risky or even forbidden to challenge the group's opinion. If you spot these signs, you're probably looking at the herd in action. Okay, so I know. So far, this all sounds pretty bad, right? Market bubbles, panic buying, extremism. But here's a twist. Is following the crowd always a bad thing? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. Sometimes the crowd gets it right. And right here, you can really see the two sides of that coin. We've talked a lot about the risks like groupthink and bad information spreading like wildfire, but there are some real benefits too. A group can pool its collective knowledge, it can make quick decisions when time is short, and it can create the kind of group harmony we need to cooperate and achieve big things. Just think about the power of people acting as one unit. A perfect example? Wikipedia. I mean, the whole idea is kind of radical, right? The belief that the collective knowledge of thousands of people all working together can create something more comprehensive and useful than any single expert could alone. That number one you see there, it symbolizes that incredible unity, the power of the right kind of herd, moving together towards a positive goal.
So, knowing all this, the good and the bad, how do we navigate it? How do we resist the dangerous pull of the herd while still being a productive part of a community? This final section is all about that. It's your personal toolkit for independent thought. Okay, here it is, your toolkit. And you can start using these right away. Step 1 is cultivating self-awareness, really getting to know your own core values. From there, you can move to step 2, embrace critical thinking. Actively question popular ideas. Don't just accept them. Step 3 is crucial. Seek out diverse perspectives. Get out of your bubble. Step 4 is a tough one. Be comfortable with uncertainty. It is perfectly okay to say, I don't know yet. And finally, step 5, develop confidence to trust your own analysis. Each step builds on the last, strengthening your ability to think for yourself. And in the end, it really comes down to this. When we learn to resist the negative side of herd mentality and make our own choices, we don't just improve our own lives. We actually contribute to a better, healthier society where different ideas are celebrated, not shut down. So, I'll leave you with one final question to think about, a personal one. Take a moment and ask yourself, honestly, which of my beliefs are truly my own and which ones might I have just absorbed from the crowd along the way? Answering that question is the very first step. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.